This is just going to be about the basic anatomy of a neuron. So right here we have the general shape, and so the overall these like these tubes, I guess, going into the cell body are called the dendrites, and the dendrites usually receive the signal, so they're usually called afferent. They're receiving the signal. They're receiving the signal into the neuron, and so these little bumps on the dendrites are called dendritic spines. So dendritic spines, and what dendritic spines are really useful for neuroplasticity. It's key for learning, and you're actually your dendritic spines are actually changing just by watching this video, because anytime you learn something or see something, your dendritic spines are changing, and the way it becomes permanent is when these dendritic spines become longer and longer. So next we have the middle part, which is the cell body, also called the soma, or which means cell body. So that's the soma, and then the middle here is the nucleus, which contains your DNA and the blueprints for creating more neurons, and then just in here, I guess you have the Golgi apparatus. So I can just draw something like that. You have your Golgi apparatus, and your Golgi apparatus, it packages it. Just remember that it's a packaging unit apparatus. Next, you have your rough and smooth ER, endoplasmic reticulum. Know that the rough ER is where ribosomes synthesize proteins, and your smooth EDR just regulates the cell fluid inside. This here is called the axon hillock, which is really important for the neuron. The axon hillock is where the action potential passes through. It's where it starts. And you'll learn about this later, but the action potential, like chloride ions sodium ions going through the dendrites, and they accumulate until they reach the threshold, and then they go up to the axon hillock, and if it reaches the threshold, the neuron fires the charge. And then so this is where the electric current is passed through, and these are called this is called myelin, and myelin just insulates it the same way you have an electric wire that has rubber around it to insulate it, so the charge passes through more effectively. So this is just to protect the axon and to help the charge flow faster. The little spaces are called nodes of Ranvier. And what they do is they speed up the charge, because if you have the charge going here, they almost jump, and that just makes it travel faster than normal. And so once again, it's just to help the charge flow as fast as possible, because that's crucial for reacting fast and just overall fast metabolic processes. And then finally, you have the axon terminal. You have the axon terminal over here. And then this is also efferent, because that's where this neuron passes its signal to the next neuron. And I guess to magnify this, you have your you have your axon, and you have your axon, and you have your dendrite right here. In here, there's little sacs containing neurotransmitters, and they're called vesicles. They're called vesicles, and then they contain the neurotransmitters. So, and then yeah, the biggest thing is that the axon actually has a space. That your neurons aren't connected to each other. So this is called a synaptic cleft, or synapse. And so, yeah, the biggest thing is that there's a space, and this is really important because since there's no space, it can control whether the neuron fires or not. Therefore, can stop or start signals. So that's a really important part of the general neuron. And the person that discovered this, just a random fact, is that Santiago Ramon y Cajal. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but just look him up. He won a Nobel Peace Prize because he discovered the neuron doctrine. I guess I can write that down. Neuron doctrine. Neuron doctrine. Santiago. He discovered this, and then he actually won a Nobel Peace Prize for this. He won a Nobel Peace Prize for this, and there's two main points to the neuron doctrine, and one is that the brain is made up of independent cells or individual cells. Independent cells. And then second is that there's a space. There's a space between neurons where the charge passes through. So those are the two main points of the neuron doctrine. And this is just the basic anatomy of the neuron.